Welcome to AI Bedtime Stories. Today I will be narrating a story called The Incredible Adventures of Gulliver McCloud. If you like these bedtime stories, please feel free to leave a comment. The story begins now. In the quaint and whimsical town of Everglen, Celebration of Life Day was not just a day to honor the joy of living, but also a day to share the most extraordinary and unbelievable stories. Among these was the legendary tall tale of Gulliver McCloud, a man whose life was as grand and adventurous as the tales he spun. Gulliver McCloud, a lanky fellow with a twinkle in his eye, was known far and wide for his incredible stories, each more fantastical than the last. On Celebration of Life Day, the townsfolk of Everglen would gather around the old oak tree in the village square, where Gulliver would recount his latest adventures. One of Gulliver's most beloved tales was about the time he wrestled a giant gator in the swamps of the deep south. The gator, as long as 3 school buses and as tough as a tank, had been causing a ruckus in the swamps. Gulliver, armed with nothing but his wits and a sturdy rope, managed to outsmart the beast, tying it up in a giant bow and leading it peacefully back to its pond. Another of his famous stories was his journey to the peaks of the Rocky Mountains, where he claimed to have discovered a hidden valley filled with diamonds as big as your fist. Gulliver spoke of the sparkling waterfalls and the diamond trees that lit up the valley like 1,000 stars. He swore the story was true, even though he conveniently forgot the map to this wondrous place. The most incredible tale of all, however, was his voyage across the 7 seas. Gulliver recounted battling storms that could swallow ships whole, outsmarting cunning mermaids, and even playing chess with a friendly kraken, whose tentacles were as thick as tree trunks. Each story was more outlandish than the last, but the people of Everglen loved them. Gulliver's tales weren't just entertainment. They were a celebration of the infinite possibilities of life, the adventures waiting around every corner, and the magic hidden in the everyday. As Gulliver grew older, some in the town began to wonder if his tales were true. It wasn't until Celebration of Life Day many years later that the truth came out. A group of travelers came to Everglen, each from a different corner of the world, each with a story about a tall, kind stranger who had helped them in their time of need. There was the swamp dweller who spoke of a lanky man who had saved his village from a troublesome gator, a miner from the Rockies who had found a valley of diamonds with the help of a map given by a kind stranger, and a sailor who told of being rescued from a storm by a man who seemed to command the sea itself. The townsfolk realized that Gulliver's tall tales were not just fanciful stories. They were his life's adventures, each with a kernel of truth, embellished and woven into fantastical narratives. Gulliver McCloud was not just a storyteller. He was a living embodiment of the spirit of Celebration of Life Day. Gulliver's legacy lived on long after he was gone. His tales continued to be told on Celebration of Life Day, inspiring generations to look at life not just as it is, but as what it could be. They learned that sometimes the line between reality and fantasy isn't as clear as it seems, and that the greatest adventures are those that celebrate the joy and wonder of living.